Joe, how you doing today, my man?
Oh,
Oh, your
Early,
audio
man.
came out. There you go.
Can you hear me better now?
I can.
Okay. So I woke up super early today. I had to get up like around 7, man. I had to go get tacos for me and my niece because I drive her to school on Fridays. So I spend
Mhm.
time with my niece in the morning. She likes me to pick her up and spoil her because I get her breakfast tacos and then I get her Dutch Bros and then I go and drop her off at school. So I get to spend time with her and it's nice. But yeah, I had to wake up early today, dude. I'm just like, man, I gotta wake up early to do my weekly uncle duties.
That's
Pick up my
right.
niece.
They get expensive, man.
Bro, I'm telling you, man, I got nothing but nieces, man, and hardly any nephews. And man, these girls are expensive, dude. Like, she was already telling me her order last night before she went to sleep. It was already like 8 o'clock, and I'm still working. And she's like, "Uncle, get me a bean and cheese and a potato and egg." And I was like, "Oh, this girl putting in her order already." Oh my god. Hey, but I got them spoiled. I got my nieces spoiled, man. I guess I'm the fun uncle.
Yeah. I'm tweeting out there our link right now.
Oh yeah. Keep it puro. Great Castanuela. Hey, I like his shirt, dude. The Shut Up Gina.
Yeah.
It's Friday and what? We don't give a damn Friday. Oh, there it is. Mario Cavazos right on cue. It's Friday and we don't give a damn. I got to get with DJ LG. I got to get with LG. He said he can help me get that little soundbite. We can make our own. It's Friday and we don't give a damn like they used to do
I like it.
on 99.5 Kiss with the reverb. Damn, 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 damn. He's going to help me do that.
Where the dreams don't fade from the river walk nights to the Alamo shade. We rise together through the highs and the lows. Area 210. Oh, it's the life that we chose.
It's game day, Bala. That's right, man. Spurs back in action tonight against the New Orleans Pelicans. My name's Mikey Menace. That's Joe Garcia. We talk a lot of sports, pop culture, nostalgia over here. It is a Friday. It's a fantastic day because the Spurs are playing, trying to make it an undefeated 2-0. No Jeremy Sohan tonight. No De'Aaron Fox. And on the Pelican side, no DeJounte Murray. So both sides with some injuries going on right now. We're talking about the Spurs, the Cowboys. We're going to talk about the NFL slate of games for this weekend. But Joe, before we get going, we want to thank everyone who watched last night's show because literally
Man.
within the last 5 minutes, yesterday's show became our second most popular, our second most viewed show of all time. We've been doing over 400 episodes, right?
Yeah.
Wemby builds that excitement, grows that excitement for Spurs fans. And the numbers that we posted yesterday were impressive.
Nice. Thank you to everybody who joined us yesterday. We appreciate it. And Rick will be joining us too. He'll be here in a couple minutes. He's going to chime in as well. We're going to be talking San Antonio Spurs basketball. We'll be talking about everyone's favorite subject, and that's going to be the Dallas Cowboys. And of course, we'll probably throw in some sports and entertainment news in the mix in here somewhere. But I think we're going to give some of our NFL predictions for this weekend, Mike.
Yeah. And everyone be nice on the stream. We could all see what's
Please.
going on. Yeah, please do that because it derails the show and it doesn't make the show any better. Just because sometimes it derails me, sometimes it derails Joe. Make it fun and lively and be part of the show that way, right? Because we had
Yeah.
to kill off at some point the Drew show, who was a big supporter of the show, and hopefully he can make a triumphant return. Maybe things will settle down or whatever the case may be. But there's no need to go after the hosts. There's no need to go after the guests that we have or anything like that. But we've heard some glitches going on. I've had a couple of people reach out to me saying that
Huh.
they kind of feel like there's a glitch in the system when it comes to it all. Hopefully it resolves itself over the weekend, but we're not over here actively blocking or muting people.
No, we're not.
There's just something going on within the system. It may be good to take off the app and reinstall the app because there might be a
YouTube.
glitch in the system. Yeah.
I'll look at the YouTube settings that we have too, just to make sure there's nothing going on with that as well. Because I know YouTube rolled out a whole bunch of updates for content creators,
Yeah.
and they were kind of sending a lot of notifications saying they had implemented more, new toys and stuff like that. But I'm wondering if in doing that they messed up something there. So I'll
Right.
check over the weekend to see everything is still good.
Joe, we were talking about the excitement that the Spurs have been generating, and right now
Yeah.
it's a pivotal time for the Spurs, not only because it's the start of the NBA season, but also because the first phase of Project Marvel, which is the new arena, is up for a vote. Prop A and Prop B. Early voting is underway. And we asked ourselves the question, where are the votes coming from, right? Well, yesterday, more than 10,000 more votes came in. So it
Man.
was a big day of early voting in San Antonio for Prop A and Prop B. And I have a list here, according to bear.org, of where the votes came from. Joe, the number one polling place yesterday, and then one of the top 5 in the city right now, is Brook Hollow Branch Library. So,
Nice.
for those of you who don't know Brook Hollow, that's off of 281 North, right?
Yeah.
So that's a. Would you think, Joe, that would be a spur friendly area? That Brook Hollow, the 281 and Thousand Oaks area.
I don't know. I would think I would like to think so. I would think that every place around San Antonio is Spurs friendly, except for certain regions. Where all the old timers are, brother.
Speaking of first friendly,
What's
There
going
you
on,
hey,
Mark
go.
hey, hey
Hernandez?
everybody. Sorry, yeah.
Well,
Sorry,
no, what
sorry,
were you gonna
sorry
say,
for
Rick?
being in my
I
lateness.
was
What's
gonna
up?
say, what are you gonna say, Rick? It's right. It's a good morning to what?
Hey, good morning, Spurs fans. It's Spurs fans only, baby.
That's right, baby. That's right.
Always. I
So
like that. He
all
always puts that on his X, dude, and I like to retweet it.
so the number 2 place where voting took place in San Antonio yesterday is Lions Field Senior Facility. Now, for those of you who don't know, that is on Broadway. That's near the Pearl. So basically, it's Brackenridge Park.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Kind of a debate as to whether or not that is a Spurs friendly area. The Oakwell branch, Tobin branch at Oakwell, which is basically Harry Wurzbach and 410 area, had the
Mhm.
third most votes. Parman Branch Library of Stone Oak had the fourth most votes, and then Encino Branch, which is far north Stone Oak as well, came in big. Igo Branch, Cody Branch, Sem's Branch, all north side voting polling sites had big days yesterday, followed by the Great Northwest, which is our neck of the woods,
Yeah.
there in close to Alamo Ranch, if you will. And it's interesting, but if you look at what had the lowest votes, Joe,
I already know. I
the
already know.
fewest votes so far, Joe, St. Philip's College.
Okay.
In the entire city of all dozens of precincts, St. Philip's College has the lowest, followed by Frank Garrett Multi-Service Center, Macedonia Baptist Church, which I believe is on the south side, Somerset City Hall, Southside ISD, Palo Alto, Texas A&M University, St. Hedwig. Basically, the south side has not shown up to vote at all.
Yeah, man. I was wondering what's going on with the Guerra Library because that's where I'm going to go vote because it's just around the corner from me. And look, we got a new little gift now. I turned on the notification, so when you all give us a super chat now, you got Floyd Money Mayweather, right, Rick? No
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it.
super chat. Let's stress it.
Here comes the money.
And he goes. He says, "An old man grito." He goes for Wemby to continue dominance all season. Go Spurs, go! Puros pinches Spurs a la verga. Thank you so much, Mario. We appreciate your support, man. And just for that, you paid for it. You asked for it. We'll give you the
Get
old
it.
man grito.
Por presumir a mis amigos les conté que en el amor
Standing
That
outside La
grito's goated.
Margarita, man. Standing outside La Margarita. That's the OG one. That's the OG one. But to answer his question, it says Old Man Grito for Wemby to continue his dominance all season long. As we mentioned yesterday, FanDuel Sportsbook has the Spurs Victor Wembanyama as the second favorite when it comes to MVP. Number one right now is SGA, and SGA went off last night. Another double overtime game for the Thunder. Another win for the Thunder in double overtime. They beat the Pacers 141 to 135. SGA went off 15 for 31 shooting. 55 points. I believe he shot 28 free throw attempts, 26, 23 of 26. How does somebody get to the line 26 times? And I know that a lot of basketball fans get upset about that because, it seems as though he gets a lot of ticky-tack calls his way. But a lot of those calls last night was just him drawing contact, doing up fakes, and having the defender glide into him. And it's not like Kobe was back in the day where Kobe would leap into the player. He got the guy going in his direction and just went straight for it. It wasn't as egregious as Kobe was back in the day, or Tracy McGrady back in the day, or even Manu back in the day. But he got to the line so many times, 55 points, man. That's a big performance by SGA. But Wemby's going to try to ball out tonight against the New Orleans Pelicans. Spurs favored tonight by 3.5 points. ESPN Analytics believes the Spurs have a 60.1% chance of winning tonight's game. No De'Aaron Fox, no DeJounte Murray on the other side. I saw a great thing about this yesterday. It was on what used to be FS1. What's that one guy with the long hair? With the long hair. He's anyway. Talking Head, famous one. He mentioned something that I thought was kind of interesting, and this was on behalf of Spurs fans. He was saying that if you ask the question, what team's length would give Wemby fits the most, what team would you think of? And he goes, the number one team you would think of, his opinion was the Dallas Mavericks. And Wemby goes off for 40 and 15, 0 turnovers, knocked down 1 of 2 3-pointers, made more than 70% of his shots. And he posed the question, I thought it was kind of funny. He asked the question, if Wemby can do that against AD and against Cooper Flagg and Derek Lively and all those guys, who do the Pelicans have that's going to stop him? And just like we did yesterday, was looking at the schedule thinking, man, the Spurs might run off a 4 to 5-0 start. Would be great, Joe. Would be great.
Yeah, I was looking at something that the Mavericks did yesterday, and I was like, you know what? That might be a weakness for Wemby. And for a time there, what they were doing is that they were coming over and they were kind of giving him a double team, but then they would pull back and they would give him a different look. You had somebody else coming from behind trying to swipe at the ball because Wemby, you look at his idiosyncrasies and he has a tendency to favor the right. So he's always going to bring the ball down to his right hip, right leg, right knee. So they have somebody coming to swipe and just be a pest. And it kind of messed up his offensive prowess at that point, because now he was having to look not only in front of him, but to kind of look back a little bit to see if anybody's coming from the back. And when he does that, that means that somebody that's guarding him in the front can go ahead and swipe at the ball or kind of impede his progress, because he wants to go ahead and plant that right foot and go ahead and make a move to the basket. I just think he needs to do a better job of recognizing when the double teams are going to be coming. If they're going to give him, if they're going to kind of like double team him, then have somebody else come again on him from his back to kind of pester him. That means somebody's open. He needs to find the open man right away, because you got somebody either open on the wing or you got somebody, making a move to the basket for an easy dunk or an easy layup. So I just thought that was interesting. I don't think it has to do so mumuch with length. I think it has so much how they're going to play him defensively. And if they can bother him, that can go ahead and kind of mess with his rhythm a bit. So it's just something that I noticed.
The person I was thinking about was Nick Wright from FS1.
Yeah.
The name came back to me here. You mentioned a double team, and I want to get Fernandez's take on this, because after the game in post-game interviews, Stephon Castle said no one can guard Wemby one-on-one anymore. A reporter asked Wemby, because it feels as though you're the best player in the NBA, and Wemby was like, yeah. Like, no kidding. Like, no kidding.
Yeah, no
right?
shit. Yeah,
the most unstoppable player.
Yeah. And
Castle says that it's imperative that every team now needs to double Wemby, that you can't guard him by himself. And what kind of pressure do you think that puts on the other players on the team, the Champagnes, the Vassels, the Castles, to knock down an open jumper? Because if they're going to double and triple Wemby to try to quote unquote take him out of the game, everybody else needs to step up. Fernandez.
Yeah. It's one of those things, is pick your poison. Another take could be Wemby's going to get his, worry about the other guys. I mean, that's, I don't know how different coaches look at these things differently, right? If you got a guy like Wemby on the court, there was instances where guys like Alex Caruso were guarding bigger guys. I actually don't think that's a bad idea. Put a smaller guy on him and try to get the ball out of his hands early. You're not going to guard him and block him, it's almost like, and I know it sounds kind of counterintuitive, but it's almost like I'd rather not even put a big on him, because none of your bigs are going to stop him anyway. Put a small guy on him, trying to keep him out of the paint down low, like a pesky guy that is
Yeah.
just going to be low towards the ball, and try to get the ball out of Wemby's hands, and leave your bigs to guard. If the big Elote is out there or somebody else, I don't know. I'm just saying, there's no way to stop this guy. So one of the aspects might be, or one of the approaches might be, let Wemby get his. He's going to get his. Let me worry about stopping Castle. Let me worry about stopping the other folks.
Vassell
I don't
and
know.
everybody.
Yeah. I mean, there's no right answer because there's no stopping Wemby. To me, doubling Wemby, either he's gonna break through that double and score anyway, or he's gonna find the open man, like you said. So
Right.
I actually would take a different approach and not doubling Wemby, putting a smaller guy on him in the perimeter, trying to get the ball out of his hands low early, and then just take your risk. If he shoots over that small guy, then so be it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now my other guys are being covered, because it's almost like Wemby's gonna get his. Let's stop everybody else.
Well,
that might be a
yeah.
coach's approach.
well, look at the depth chart that the New Orleans Pelicans have for tonight. I might be mispronouncing the name, but Evis Missy, the center from Baylor, 21 years
Mhm.
old,
Mhm.
he is questionable for tonight's game with an ankle injury. So he's questionable, ankle injury, so he's not 100%. Who's the backup center? Kevon Looney. Kevon
Yeah,
Looney's out.
yeah.
So
Wow.
he's out. So that means the only other big guy that they have, there's two. You have Derek Queen, the rookie they
Mhm.
got from Maryland, who's only has
Mhm.
one game underneath his belt,
Yeah.
and they have Zion Williamson, who's lost a lot of weight. And Zion gives up what? What's Zion's height? 6'9"?
Yeah. 6'8",
So
6'9".
Yeah.
6'8", 6'9". So what exactly are they going to do to throw at Wemby tonight? They have nobody
Nothing.
to throw at Wemby tonight.
Nothing, bro. That's what I'm saying. Nothing, bro. That's what I'm saying. You might as well put a guard on him or a forward and just have him low. Have him.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like this tall, and my
Yeah.
man's gonna be down at his waist. I mean, the thing is too, you're dribbling the ball down here, so no, it's like you're not gonna meet his height. So why not catch him low? Because he's still got to
Right.
dribble the ball right here. You see what I'm saying? So it's one of those things, man. It sounds counterintuitive, but I think you put a smaller guy on him, try to get the ball out of his hands early.
Yeah.
Easier said than done. Obviously, easier said
Yeah.
than done, bro. There's no
Hey, we
stopping
got
Alien, bro.
Yeah, we got a super chat to address here, but I also wanted to go ahead and say thank you to Rick for joining us because he got in late over there in San Diego. He
Bro,
left from Dallas and he got in at 1 a.m., bro, and he's still
bro,
doing
bro,
the show.
bro. That's why I was late this morning. I apologize. Yeah, I spent the rest. My flight was like a 10 p.m. flight out of Dallas, so I spent the rest of the
Yeah.
day in Dallas, which was cool. Mexican Junior and I hung out. We went and grabbed some brunch. We grabbed some dinner. We hung out. We had a couple of drinks. It was a good time. But yeah, then he took me to the airport, man, and I land. And then there's a time difference, obviously. So I landed in about 1 a.m. And then that's at LA, at LAX. So I still had another hour drive back to Oceanside, right? So yeah, man, I got caught a couple of little winks of sleep, and I'm usually good with about 4 hours of sleep. Like I'm good.
Yeah.
Nice.
The problem was though is I got in so late last night that I didn't have time to get the booze. You know what I'm saying? So
It's
this
closed. Everything's
morning
closed.
everything's closed exactly. So this
Yeah.
morning I was up. Right. This morning I get up. I got like 30 minutes. I'm like, yeah, no problem. I'm gonna go to the store that I always go to. Man, I forgot my wallet and I just paid with my phone.
Your phone.
They
Yeah, yeah.
they carded me for the first time ever. I don't know why
Oh,
these people are
bro.
carding me. Yeah, the lady cards me and I said, "Oh, I don't have my wallet," and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I'm like, "I buy here all the time." I'm like, "You know me." She's like, "I know, but and I'm like, whatever." So I have to like go to a different store, and that it was a whole thing, bro. But I'm here, bro. I'm here, and I'm
Hey,
ready
look,
for
man, I
tonight.
got
Today's my son's
I'm
birthday.
still
Today's my
happy
son's
birthday to your
birthday.
son.
Yeah,
Happy
yeah,
yeah.
birthday to
happy
your son.
birthday.
Still winded by the adventures in Dallas, man. It's just
It was
still
fun, man. The adventures in Dallas was so much fun, man. I'm telling you, we had a blast. We met so many cool people. A lot of people from Spurs Twitter. What is the guy that bought us drinks, Mike, from Italy
from
or,
Italy.
or
Yeah.
France? Italy, like, bro, we had such a cool time. I'll tell you what, we gotta make another point to get out there to Dallas for another game
Guess what
because
Yeah.
jersey he
the
was
atmo-
wearing? Guess what
What's
jersey
up,
the
Wemby.
guy from Italy? Nope.
Mm,
Manu.
Manu? I
He
was
was
gonna say
wearing a
Manu, right?
Manu
Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
jersey.
Manu.
yeah,
Made perfect sense. Yeah,
yeah.
but the energy over there, we got to do it in Houston too, man.
Oh yeah,
You got to
yeah,
take over that
yeah,
section. It's
Toyota
section
Center.
101 in Houston that Spurs
yeah,
fans are, and we take up the entire section. By the way, there's breaking
yeah.
news as
Mm.
mentioned on our thread here, which is powered by PF Chang's La Cantera, that the New Orleans Pelicans have signed DeAndre Jordan, free agent center, to a 1-year deal. It'll be his 18th season in the NBA. 37 years old. I don't know if
Brought
he's
him
going
in
to be
for
ready
Wemby.
for tonight's game, but bring him off
They
the
brought some.
couch.
They brought some length in for Wemby. Myra's in the chat. What's up, baby girl? They brought they brought DeAndre. He's an A&M guy, right? If I'm not mistaken, he's an
Back in the
Aggie.
day, yeah.
Yeah. He's an A&M guy. He's an Aggie. He's a veteran, right? Hey, they might have brought him in the hopes that he could get out there and you're good for 6 fouls, right? Or something,
Yeah.
you know.
Something, man.
you're
Yeah,
good for you're
I
good for
think
something.
I think Wemby's got this. I mean, if you're going to have a center go out there who doesn't even know his teammates, who doesn't know what plays they're running, doesn't know the offense, doesn't know the defensive scheme,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
signing, whether he plays or not, is
yeah.
meaningless when it all comes to it
Of
all.
course, it
Spurs here
is.
by 3.5 points. Look at what has transpired over the course of the last week or so. We went from talking about can this team actually make the playoff or is it a play-in team?
Mhm,
So now we're
mhm.
looking at this and we're seeing around the other teams in the league. We're thinking to ourselves, we may not be in 1 and 2 in this conference, but to say that the Spurs are maybe the third or fourth best team in this conference is actually very, very, very realistic.
Hey, real talk.
I love the talking heads yesterday, man. I watched it all yesterday. I watched PTI, I watched First Take, I watched FS1, Get Up, and all that stuff. And there was all these people coming out there and saying that I found this to be an interesting take that I heard, which was when you have the number one player in the league, you're already a finals candidate.
Hmm.
He says, think about every best player in the league at the
Yeah.
time. You go back in time, Magic was the best player in the league. Guess what? They
Mhm.
were champions. Larry was the best player in the league. They were champions.
Yeah.
Michael was, Hakeem was, Tim Duncan was, Kobe was,
Mhm.
Shaq
Yeah.
was, LeBron was. When you have the number one player, you are up there, and anything can happen at that point. We do have, if you can go onto my Twitter account, some sound. Ryan Clark had a very interesting question about this. Remember how I mentioned yesterday that Wemby was Otani and Otani was Wemby?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Ryan Clark, it's further
I've seen it.
down, talking about it's on the podcast, The Pivotal Point, asking about where does Wemby rank to him, personal opinion, when it comes to must-watch TV, seeing somebody play in person. He gives basically his Mount Rushmore, his top 5 list of who he likes to see and what he has experienced as a fan watching the NBA.
Y'all know I love a generational talent conversation, so I'm gonna have it. Victor Wembanyama is the most talented basketball player that's ever lived. I mean, a generational talent. And listen, I got to see probably 4 or 5 in my life. Michael Jordan to me, for sure. Shaquille O'Neal, for sure. LeBron James, out of this world, for sure. And Kevin Durant. Because these are dudes who, at the time they came into the league, in my opinion, we had never seen anything like them. And of all of those people, because there's 5 of them, right? It can't be a Mount Rushmore. Victor Wembanyama is on the top. Size, speed, agility, skill, explosion, timing, everything. We have never seen a player like him. Now, that does not mean he's going to be the greatest player of all time, right? Tom Brady's the greatest football player of all time. He was not the greatest talent, even a generational talent. But this dude is. And what we saw against the Mavs was this, though. He got dog. He came out to prove a point. And that was what I always wondered, right? Did he have it here? Hell yeah, he does. And now, the team around him might not help him win a championship this year, but he could be the defensive player of the year. He could be the MVP, even if they ain't number one. This dude is different. And no, I get it. You know, it's people like Steph, right? Steph has a generational talent and a skill that's made him a transcendent generational player. I'm not saying that, but I'm talking Wemby, Jordan, Shaq, Bron, KD. Basketball conversation about talent, length, size, explosion compared to other people that is they're in a different conversation. And Wemby is the headliner. It's his league to take over. Now, what he do with it, that's on him.
That's Ryan Clark, Super Bowl champion, talking about his opinion about Victor Wembanyama. That's some great company to keep there, Joe. Going out there and saying that this guy that just as a sports fan, a sports connoisseur, looking at this guy, thinking to himself, we haven't seen this since we've seen Jordan, since we've seen back in the day. I would even add Kareem Abdul-Jabbar to that mix back in the day. This is a very interesting take. And Joe, you're still holding on. You're dying on that hill of how he's not a generational talent.
You get him 20 games. It was one game. One
Joe
game.
died
And
on
then
that
somebody
hill.
went
Joe.
through all Alamo. Was it Alamo on the Rise? Goes through all the trouble having to go back, pull the video, pull the receipts. Man, that's nothing
Oh,
but time, bro. That
bro,
got
bro,
nothing but time.
I'll tell you what, man. Alamo on the Rise. That dude will bring up receipts and combos from like months
Years
and
ago.
years ago,
Yeah.
bro. Yeah, he always does that too.
It was
And he'll randomly hit me up on Twitter and say something. And most of the time, his arguments don't even make sense. But whatever. But yeah, he will do it, bro. He will do it.
And I told him,
Yeah.
I'm not scared. I'm not scared. You want to call me out? That's fine. Go ahead and do it. But I'm
Well,
not moving my vote. I'm still standing on the hill being like, Mira Wemby. And I gave him his roses and I said, Mira Wemby. But you know what? I just want to see him do that consistently, like I said. So I'm going to give him a sample size of 20 games. Now, if he does really great, for most of those games, I'm saying maybe in the 20, he might drop a game or two where he's not the greatest. He's not the alien, but he's still going to have like 20 points or 18 and, 10 rebounds and maybe even 10 assists, triple double night. That's nothing, dude. It's like, if you can still do that consistently, I'll be like, give me the apology form, Mike. Like I made you sign
Oh,
the Sohan.
right.
I'll sign it.
That's
I'll
exactly
sign
where I
it.
was going. That's exactly where I was going
you'll
for.
get the apology form. You'll get it, Joe.
I'll
You'll
sign
get
it.
it, bro. You'll get it. You will. You will.
I think that 4 might be coming before 20 games. I bet
I'm
you
just saying, I'm giving him 20 games.
6 games in, Wemby's averaging 35 points per game. Because what is the level of point production that you expected? Because years past, he's averaged 22, 23 points per game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's good enough to be in the top 20 in the NBA, right? I came into this season thinking that Wemby was going to average 27. And now if you were to ask myself that question, if I was to ask myself that question again, north or south of 27 points per game, dude, I think the over-under is 30. I think he'll be the first Spur to ever average 30 points per game. No doubt. No doubt. With the skill set that he has, the fact that he's not camping out the three-point line, the fact that he has more lean muscle up top, gaining all that muscle weight because of what he's been able to do and the footwork that he looks like Hakeem out there, practicing and training with Hakeem, getting the advice of Kevin Garnett, all the training that he's done. It's Fernandez, man. Over under. How many points do you think he's going to average this year? Because I said 27 before the season started.
Yeah.
Now I'm like 30.5.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be in the 30 range, bro. I really do, man. And I love Joe, man, but he's gonna. I respect him
Down the
hanging on
hill.
to his. I respect him dying on that hill, but man, I don't see it, bro. Wemby
I'm
is
not a
just he's
believer. I'm
different,
not a
bro.
Wem believer right now. I'm still
That's
going to wait
crazy.
20
That's
games.
crazy talk. That's crazy talk, Joe. It really is, bro.
I'm
But
going to say, all I'm going to do is say, Mira Wemby. That's all I say. And everybody's
you're
like,
gonna be saying that
Joe,
a lot. You're gonna be
Joe.
saying Mita Wemby a lot, bro. You're gonna be
It'll
saying me like Mike said, they could run a stretch of 4 games that they might win all these games. I don't know. We'll see,
I
right?
predict Wemby going to drop a 50 piece tonight on the Pelicans, dude. Maybe more than 50.
Oh man,
You know? He's
yeah,
going to be
yeah,
feasting, dude. Who's
yeah.
going to stop him, Rick?
By the way, I'm looking
Yeah.
at Zion's height. We said Zion's 6'9". He's 6'6". Wemby's a
Oh,
full
wow.
foot taller than him.
Yeah.
Now Zion in the past has been able to push Wemby around, but
Oh,
Wemby is
yeah,
20 pounds heavier. Zion's 20 pounds
Yeah.
lighter than the
Yeah.
last time that happened.
How's
yeah,
that saying go? You can't stop the rain when it's about to fall, man. Like, come on. They can't
Yeah.
stop Wemby in the paint. And we got to address the super chat because Matt Lerma gave us a $5 super chat. He's been
You
sitting
should do it
there.
in the Matt Lerma voice.
Here comes the money.
And look at Matt Lerma says, "Shut up, Gina," for all the misogynists in the chat.
Oh man,
Oh,
man,
you
that's
know
a whole nother topic. Yeah.
you've hit the big time when that guy Ty Yeager comes after you on social
Oh.
media.
What did he say to you?
Oh, I retweeted it. It's the most insufferable jackass in all of Spurs Twitter is not me. It's that dude.
He's part of the rainbow crowd, bro, and they always got something to say.
Hey,
And I'm not saying
got
anything about them, but I'm just saying, like, why do they always have to be like the biggest voices out there, being like ugly? You know what I mean?
got much love for the rainbow crowd. Much
yeah,
love.
but I'm just saying,
Much
but why
love.
do they have to be so nasty, dude?
I'm not going to put it all in one group. That is just one
no, I'm
individual
just
person.
saying, dude. Like,
But if you go on my Twitter account, I retweeted it last night because it's nice to call out a little bit. But he came at me and posted. I had that post that I had about myself, and he says, "quote This is just corny and has some massive misogyny vibes to it." You can be supportive of voting yes without looking like a misogynist. My response to him was not one mention of race, sex, religion, or sexual orientation. Not one curse word used. Your words about me are worse than anything I said on the shirt. Not that I care. End quote.
Yeah.
Okay, did I make reference to the fact that she's a woman? No. Did I make reference to the fact that she is gay? No. Did I make fun of her political party? No. Did I use any? Do we use any curse words on that, Joe? No.
Nope. Not a one.
Not a one. And I had one other person that Ty Yeager has followers who was trying to pile on me as well. I'd said this is feminism, dude. I'm treating Gina Ortiz Jones like I would another dude, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what feminism is? Treat everyone equally and alike. I didn't go after her sexual orientation, her race, her religion. I didn't go after any of that. So I find it funny that Ty Yeager he plays the victim card every 5 minutes. If you don't agree with him, it's because he's gay or it's because you're a misogynist or you're a racist or whatever the case would be. And there are reasons to feel that way. I felt that way last week when I was going to Oklahoma and I was in Idabel, Oklahoma, and I was in Dangerfield, Texas, and Marshall, Texas. You can feel that, right? Because outright, it's happening, right? The jump to conclusion that he had on there is comical. It makes him look stupid. It makes him look like non-serious when it comes to it all. And it actually takes away from people who are misogynists. And by the way, guess what? My daughter's Filipina, just like Gina Ortiz Jones.
Yeah.
I didn't mention that because I'm not going to get Gabby in the mix.
Yeah,
it's funny.
Not engaging with them people over on the X, bro. I'm too busy during work for that nonsense. They can say whatever they want to. It's like whatever, bro.
I think, and I think I saw this other female that was going at you, Mike, about the same thing about the shirt.
Yeah.
I saw a bunch of people kind of going in on it, and I kind of read through them because I was interested in seeing what they were trying to say, and I'm trying whenever things like this happen, I try to see through somebody else's lenses. Like I try, I really do. Believe it or not, I try to think to myself like, are they really upset, or are they just crying to cry, or do they really have something?
Yeah.
And I guess what I gathered, like the whole "Shut Up, Gina," right? That's like the slogan or campaign or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And it kind of was born just through us talking about her saying things, and we're like, stop talking. And it was even okay. So let me back it up. I think the people like Ty and the people that are opposed to the shirt and don't like it, they are equating "Shut Up, Gina" to basically go back to the kitchen
Right.
to a woman, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that that's what "Shut Up, Gina" means. I'm
No.
saying this is what I think people are thinking, right? So the undertone to people is "Shut Up, Gina" is basically a man's way of saying, go make me a sandwich, go back to the kitchen. You don't know sports. Like when a female's talking sports or something like that. And our good friend Carolina could probably attest to this. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. Like there are men like that. There are men who do think that. There are men who think women have no place to say anything other than go to the kitchen, make me a sandwich, get on your knees and blow me. That's what you're for. I'm sorry for that. I'm just saying that's how some men do see women. Now,
What do you call
talked to-
how do you say it? The machismo.
Yeah. I know personally Mike and Joe. And again, Mike, don't take this the wrong way. I don't think Mike thinks that way. Like his mindset is he's not. I mean, he's not a like, hey girl, get my sandwich ready and come over here and blow me. Like that's not Mike's attitude. Like you know what I'm saying? So
No.
for anyone who to equate that to Mike, I think is crazy. So again, I'm trying to peel back the onion as to why people got so upset about this,
What
And
they think the
it's
message is.
It's all first of all, it's all in fun and games, man. It is all in fun, man. Mike had the shirt under his jersey. He took it
Yeah.
off. He took the shirt off for a picture, put the jersey back on, never thought anything of it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like
Yeah.
this obnoxious, like, hey, everybody, look, shut up, Gina. You know what I mean? It wasn't like that. And so I'm trying to paint the
Oh,
picture,
I'll do
Mike,
that in
of
San
how.
Antonio. I'll do that in San
Well,
Antonio.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, right. But I'm just no, but all this to say, um, if it was a male politician who was acting the way Gino Ortiz Jones is, we would say, "Shut up, Paul. Shut up, Mike. Shut up." Jose, whatever that so it has nothing to do with any kind of female undertone or misogynistic undertone. I guess I can see why somebody would equate "shut up, Gina" to "hey, go back to the kitchen," but
Yeah.
that's never been the intent. That was never what it was about. Her her things she said, she needed a new PR team. It's like her PR team saying, "Can you please stop talking? Like you are drowning us. Like stop saying what you're saying. Go Spurs, go! Cricket, cricket, cricket. You know what I'm saying? That is the shut up, Gina. It has nothing to do
Oh,
with misogynistic or anything like that. But that's
Gina,
how.
Gina, Gina crashed a District 10
Yeah,
Oh, God.
town hall. She
Mhm, mhm.
crashed a Pro Project
yeah,
Marvel
yeah,
city hall press
yeah,
conference.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
She is the one who's out of line, speaking out of turn, and obviously doesn't know what
Right.
she's doing because she's trying to create business a certain way that's
Yeah.
against city protocol, and they've been calling her out on it. They've been like, "Hey, that's not the way that this works here." It's
Hmm.
obvious that she,
Yeah.
as April and Sarah mentioned, did not want that job. She wanted to
Hmm.
be in Congress
Hmm.
and lost twice.
Yeah.
And so she took the consolation prize to her, which is mayor. And I think she's, upset that the fact that this keeps going on without her. And
Hmm.
people are still focusing on Ron Nirenberg. People are still focusing on Nelson
Yeah.
Wolf and all these people from the
Yeah.
past. Henry Cisneros still in the mix when it comes to it all. And it's like, it's very disingenuous what she's been saying throughout this whole process. Like she's
Yeah.
outright lying to people.
Yep.
And
Misinformation.
and
Yeah.
and and as I mentioned to them earlier, because they wanted to equate me with misogyny and whatnot, and I told them, I said, look, I have the same hatred for Ted Cruz,
Hmm.
who I think is a big pile of
Yeah.
crap, you
Yeah.
Mhm.
know. So
Yeah.
and then that startled them a little bit because they're like, well, wait, he's not MAGA? No,
Yeah.
I'm not. So
Yeah.
I think it kind of threw them for a loop. When Ty posted that, I did the count of how many people supported me, how
Yeah.
many people supported him. It
Yeah.
was 23 people supported me and 4 people supported him.
Yeah. We're talking about seeing things through different people's lenses. And I don't know what Matt Gomez's issue has been lately because I keep seeing these little sneak disses, and that's fine. So I'm gonna read what he said. He said, "But if we look into other people's glasses, we can still outright call someone a shit father for not affording $200 tickets as a priority as wild." That goes back to that comment that I made on Twitter to a specific
Yeah.
person. To a specific person. It was during that comment about the father, the padre,
That
the
couldn't afford the
priest
$10
father,
tickets. Yeah.
the priest father that he said that he couldn't afford the tickets. The tickets have been priced. Spurs have been pricing people out X, Y, and Z. I think Mike actually shared or somebody shared the how
The
much
cost
it
for
takes to get
tickets,
into the game. Yeah, it
Yeah.
costs to get average, whatever. So long
resale.
story long. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Long story long. Long story long. I think the Spurs game was like $30 or something like that. So I was in this conversation with this one person who doesn't have a picture or burner. I don't know who this person is.
Yeah.
And they were saying about how they cannot afford, $200 to take their family out on a night out or
Yeah.
whatever. And I
To the game.
said yeah, and I quote tweeted, and I will say I probably used some poor choice of words, but
Yeah.
I said to him, not everybody, not every single father in the world. I said to him, if you're telling me that you can't take your family to a $200 event, whether it's a
Once a
game, whether
year.
it's dinner,
Yeah.
yeah,
Once a
once a
year.
year, if you cannot
Not every
save,
night, once a
yeah,
year.
not every
Once a
night,
year.
not every night. If you cannot scrounge up and save $200 one time in a year to go to a game, I said you're a failure as a husband and father. Now, those are probably harsh words to say because that
Yeah.
just because you can't do that doesn't mean you're a failure or a husband. Now, I am saying things probably in a little bit of an exaggeration. Like I don't mean literally like Matt Gomez. I don't mean literally they are failures or a shit father. I was a father at 14 and at
Yeah.
14, I probably couldn't scrounge up that money to take my kids to a game. That doesn't mean I'm a shit father. So I think people that know me know that I don't really mean that, but I keep seeing
Yeah.
these sneak diss from Matt Gomez. I know you're upset about that Nissan Kicks, bro. That's not my problem, big dog. That's not my problem. So
But you had
I don't know.
offered too to pay the $200 to the
I
guy.
did.
Hey man,
I did.
I'll give you $200.
Well,
I did,
one last thing, and
and I'm being serious.
one last thing before we move forward is that I talk about this all the time about like San Antonio. I love the city of San Antonio. I've lived there 44 of the 48 years of my life. I've lived in Texas my entire life. I've been here for 6 months in Conroe. I lived in Corpus for 2 years. I lived in San Marcos for 2 years. So basically, 43 out of 48 years I lived in San Antonio or Bexar
Yeah.
County. I love San Antonio. It is home. But the mentality there is so weak sometimes.
Yeah.
And Chica and I make the joke about what I wake up with every morning, and I'm not going to revisit that one. But the second one is a desire to make more money,
Oh.
and it's funny because it's about ambition and things like that. And I think that's what when I read your comment, Fernandez, it offended people because it calls people out for lack of ambition, because I've mentioned this on the show all the time. You mentioned you were a father at 14. You became a college grad and a military officer and had a
Yep.
military career.
Yeah.
I've had a very blessed life, but at the same time, for the things that I wanted to get, I sit on the shoulders of my parents. I
Yeah.
do, and all the struggles that they had to go through. Most definitely, they're my heroes, my mom and my dad. But on top of
Yeah.
that, you look at it though. If I ever wanted something to advance beyond where I was, I had to work my ass off to get there. And my problem is that the people who complain about prices, are you complaining about prices because you're working your ass off and you're doing everything you can and you still can't make it? Or is it because you're settling for the life that you have right now?
Yeah.
I hope to inspire people
Yeah.
to become better than what they are and achieve more than what they have, be better husbands, fathers, and sons. But that takes working 2 full-time jobs sometimes. That
Mhm.
takes being away from family. That takes being away from friends. That takes being away from video games, being away from all things like that, and dropping friends and getting away from bad influences and all that stuff. And that takes effort. And the fact of the matter is that San Antonio, I call it a poor city. You know why it's a poor city? Because so many people there have a poor people's attitude. And the people who are against Project Marvel, against the Spurs Arena, a lot of them are against it, not because they think it's bad for the city. It's because they're butthurt that they can't go, they can't afford it. And it's not that they can't afford it, it's just that they don't do anything about it. That's the problem. That's the problem. Because you go to other cities, I've been blessed I work all over the place, right? I work in Houston, Dallas, Austin, San Antonio. I worked in Charlotte earlier this year. The mentality is different in different cities, man.
Mhm.
I kind of feel like San Antonio
Mhm.
started dying a little bit once Kelly left, Kelly Air Force Base left. And now
Yeah.
you see the government shutdown. What day are we on? 24, 25 now?
24
Yeah.
24 day of government shutdown. Yep.
Jobs now going away at BAMC
Mhm.
or what used to be called Brook Army
Yeah.
Medical Center. So it's I understand people being upset about it, but you know what? Make more money. Make more
Hey, no,
money.
it's funny though how you say that, Mike, because like people don't know Rick, they don't know you, right? And when you say that make more money, it's because you had to go ahead and work sometimes several jobs to make ends meet, right? Back in the day, you would have to do driving like Uber driving or Lyft
Yeah.
driving, something like that. And now you're like, hey, I'm blessed to be where I'm at now, making decent money, being able to afford, to do things with Chica and your kids and all that. And that's why you say, hey man, if you're not making enough, just go make more, is what you're saying. But a lot of people say, oh, well, you're saying, something that's negative or it could offend them in some way, but it's not. It's just the mentality, saying, hey, this is where I started from the bottom and now I'm here.
Yeah.
Hey, but
Yeah.
we do get a
Yeah.
super chat incoming here from Jason.
Real fast. Elias
Here
saying
comes the money.
Mike gets serious when he doesn't blink. I like that.
The eyes don't lie.
Staring contest. Yeah.
So Jason saying, go out and vote for the Spurs. Pay the Jose the
Play the
Concoco
Conoco,
boxer.
the Conoco boxer, the Sitco boxer.
Oh,
Shut
the
up, Gina.
sicko. Yeah, the sicko.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks
So
for
let me
the
go ahead and
support,
play
there,
that.
Jason.
Todos me pegan todas pura verga. Se trepan a la verga. Mira.
Very nice. I
Yeah,
like
that
that,
was
dude.
that was me when that guy was talking about taking my belt in Dallas, man. That was me. Yeah. Yeah. Myra has an interesting take. She says it's an insecurity that's being projected. So because they can't afford it, no one else should be able to. Victim mentality. Yeah, man.
There you go.
I agree, man. I agree. Yeah, it's and then somebody else in the chat earlier said most of us don't know you. Like when I was saying, if you know me, you know I'm
Yeah.
kind of joking. Well, if and if you don't know me, or if you don't know anybody, then you shouldn't speak. You shouldn't be speaking about them. You know, like
Yeah.
that's a good point. Like I get it if somebody doesn't know me or doesn't know Mike's humor, doesn't understand the shut up
Yeah,
Gina.
they
Like
might get
yeah,
it.
like if you don't and that's actually a very good point. I'm glad you said that because we
Yeah.
don't know. A lot of us don't know each other. People just know
Yeah.
you from Twitter or know you or it's like a celebrity. Like if you know them from watching them, you don't know them personally. So
Yeah.
if you don't know me personally, why are you speaking about me like you do know me personally? You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
The same
like
thing goes for
and
Mike
vice
too.
versa. And vice
Yeah.
versa.
What
Yeah,
is?
just like Mike. Yeah.
Yeah.
You speak about Mike in a way like you know him, but you really don't know him.
Yeah.
Well, then why is his name in your mouth as if you do know him? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that that's
What do you say, Mike? You say people that say, "Oh man, I don't like this guy. He's insufferable."
yeah.
What do you say, Mike, when they finally meet you in person?
Within 5 minutes, they love me and they're buying me a drink, man.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so funny. Back in the sports star days, whenever we'd have events and stuff, and they would like Rudy J, for example, or they like Minix or Ryan Eagle or whomever, and then they come by and they'd meet me for a few minutes and they go, "Man, you're 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 a dick on the air." And I'm like, "Well, I'm kind of the same way in person too, but it's
Yeah.
just it comes off different when you're in front of somebody as opposed to." Just talking in a box because at least when you can be a dick in person, at least you can have a conversation and interaction with somebody. But
Yeah. Back and forth. Yeah.
back and forth. But
Yeah.
tonight's game day for the Spurs taking on the New Orleans
It
Pelicans.
is.
Spurs favored by 3.5 points. You know, starting 2-0, I hope gets people off the sidelines when it comes to voting for Project Marvel for the first
Hopefully.
part, which is the arena, right? And I know there's other parts to it all. I'm not blind to it all. And people coming after me going, well, saws, this and the other, and CPS and money given for reduced costs of things like that. Guess what? USA does the same thing. You think USA
Mhm.
pays full price for water? Do you think they pay a full price for electricity? No. Do you think Toyota does? No. Do you think the Army installations do? No. The big employers, the big producers, the big ticket companies, they guess what? They get a deal. They
Yeah.
get a
Yeah.
deal. That's just the way business works, baby.
Mhm.
Mexican Jr. comes
Yeah.
out and says, after meeting Jimenez in person, the only thing I hate about him is his pop culture takes.
What do you say, Mike? You didn't really watch a lot of TV. You watched some
Yeah.
movies as a kid, but you're like, I was out there
Yeah.
playing sports or doing something else.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I was telling him we were at the restaurant there outside the American Airlines Center, and I said, "What's that thing called? The Star Wars, the Millennium Falcon?" And he goes, "Dude, the fact that you didn't know for sure what it was called really hurt his feelings." And
oh yeah,
I told him, I said, "Man, I would grow up with kids playing with games like Han Solo and Luke Skywalker and beep 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 beep, beep," and I was there looking at age 6 years old, going, "The hell are you guys doing? That's stupid."
Yeah.
I never understood playing with action figures. I
oh
never
God, dude.
I never got I just looked at it and go, I'm gonna go watch the Braves play. I'm gonna go watch Andre Dawson play for the Cubs. That was my thing. RIP Ryan Sandberg. But
No, dude.
and let's talk about the NFL, man. Cowboys taking on the Broncos this weekend. Cowboys coming in 3-1, right? So we got everybody talking about Dak for MVP, and then the Cowboys are playing the Broncos, who have one of the best defenses in all of the NFL. Bo Nix, a legit quarterback, a Sean Payton inspired offense. This is a very tough team. Now, again, the Giants held the Broncos to 0 points through 3 quarters last week.
They did until they didn't.
They ran off 33 points in the fourth quarter to beat the Giants 33-32. But Joe, you wanted to bring up the fact that the Cowboys haven't beaten the Broncos in quite some time. What's going on with this graphic here?
Yeah, they haven't, dude. It shows all the losses the Cowboys have to the Broncos since 1992. Look, the last time that they beat them was September 10th of 1995.
But
Um,
how often do they play?
They don't play. It's like
They
the
don't play
what do you
often.
call
That's
it?
what I
Like the
said.
4
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
Pittsburgh Steelers. It's like the Pittsburgh
Yeah.
Steelers. The
Yeah.
Cowboys play the Steelers once every like 8 years,
Right. Yeah.
right? And
Well, the way the NFL now works with the scheduling is you get to play a team every 4 years now. So look at here. They're playing them in 2025. They play them in 21, 17, 13, 9, 5, 1, 98, 95. So it's now because they went to 8 divisions.
Yeah.
It's now every 4 years.
So the thing is like the one team that Dak Prescott has not beat, or one of two teams, has been the Denver Broncos, and the other being it's the Bills, the Buffalo Bills.
Mhm.
Something's got to give, right? Because the Cowboys are coming in with the high octane offense, right? So it's offense versus defense, and something's got to give here. While the defense for the Broncos is really good, we're going to see if it's going to be good enough to go ahead and stop the Cowboys offense. And like this to me is going to be a low scoring game, Mike. This is going to be game of the week to me. All eyes are going to be on the star this week because they're going to want to see what the Cowboys are going to do. This is a pivotal game for the Cowboys. I'd go as far as saying this is a make or break for them for the season.
It
They got
is.
momentum coming in right now. And if they want to make a run for the playoffs, man, they got to beat this team and make a statement and say, you know what? It don't matter how good your defense is. If you can't put points on the board, you can't compete with us. You know, we got too many offensive weapons out there. I think this is going to be a statement game for the Cowboys. I believe the Cowboys will win this game, but it's going to be very low scoring. I'd be hard pressed to say the Cowboys get above 20 points during this game against the Broncos.
We talk about statement wins. The Cowboys don't have one. They have a statement tie with
Yeah.
with Green
Mhm.
Bay. Green Bay, the number 1 seed in the NFC. The best win the Cowboys have is against the Commanders, and the Commanders were missing their top 3 receivers, 2 of them being all Pro Bowlers in Debo Samuel and Terry McLaurin. They were also missing their running back in Austin Eckler.
Yeah.
So the Bills are a legit team. This would be the first legit win that the Cowboys have. But here's the thing: they have to go to Denver to do this. Denver is a historically difficult place to play because it's 5,280 feet elevation.
Altitude. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
altitude is there. You've got it's difficult to breathe. It's an outdoor game, and guess what? They're playing on what? They're playing on grass, outdoor grass, not the turf that you have inside the stadium. Outdoor grass. Dak Prescott typically struggles when it comes to that, and the Broncos are a legit team, man. And it's funny because you mentioned this, Joe, that this is a make or break for the Cowboys, and it is a make or break for the Cowboys because right now the 7th seed in the NFC has a 5-2 record, basically 2 games above the Cowboys, and 2 of the teams ahead of the Cowboys right now, Carolina, Chicago, trying to vie for that last playoff spot, beat the Cowboys. So the Cowboys don't only have to catch up; they need to leapfrog over the teams that they lost to. But the Broncos coming in at 5-2. They play close games week after week after week. One thing I will say about this, Joe, they don't blow out anybody. Look at
No.
the Giants when they play the Giants. They played the Giants 33-32 victory. They beat the Jets 13-11. They beat the Eagles 21-17. They lost to the Chargers 23-20. They lost to the Colts 29-28. They play close games throughout. The only
Hey,
game that they
it's gotta
played,
win, bro.
the
Win,
only game
win,
that they
baby, win.
played that they blew out a team was when Joe Burrow got hurt. They beat the Bengals 28-3. So what we're saying here is this is going to be a tight game. Joe believes it's going to be in that 21-20 range. So
Yep.
Fernandez, how do you see this game playing out?
I mean, I think I think it would be in the best interest for the Cowboys for it to be a high scoring game, right? Because that offensive prowess that they have with
Yeah.
CD back
Favor
in the
them.
fold and yep. GP3, right? Pickens. The offense is always clicking. The defense is what's always questionable with the Cowboys, man. Elphabus, man, I don't know what he's doing. That defense is Swiss cheese sometimes, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And it's sad because usually the Cowboys have a pretty solid defense.
Mhm.
Their offense was sputtering in the past. Now we have this like, or Dallas has this like high octane offensive, juggernaut, and but the defense is like can't stop, a nosebleed. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Broncos are those games are always tough because, like Joe was saying, they don't play a lot. They when you don't see each other a lot, you kind of don't.
Yeah.
know the rhythms. Like you see the Eagles twice a year. You see the Commanders. You know what I mean?
Commanders.
You
Yeah.
see them twice a year. Like those games for the Cowboys, like against the Broncos or the Jets or like just random teams. Like you just never know about those games. They could go either way. They could literally go either way. But I agree that it's a must win because the Cowboys have been so bipolar. They win a good game, they lose one. They win one, they lose one. Like they're just back and forth, and like they can't do that. They got to string together a couple of wins in a
Yeah.
row. You know, so
Losing to the
I
Bears and Panthers didn't
yeah,
help
yeah,
them, man.
losing to the
Yeah.
Bears and Panthers doesn't help. You know, giving your all against the Eagles was great, but you still fell short. You didn't have,
Should have
or
won.
no one, yeah, no one was giving you a prayer against Green Bay, but you were there and you should have won that. So, I mean, if you know, if ands or what a coulda shoulda all day long, this team could technically be 5-2 or something if things went the right
Yeah.
way. But it is what it is. So it is a must win for them. They got to beat these teams. You got to go in there and beat a team like Denver, um, in their home to show that if you're gonna be a playoff team, you got to win these type of games on the road, right,
Now we have
Mike?
we have the Broncos at 5-2. Broncos are also undefeated 3-0 at home this year. So
Yeah,
they're 3-0 at home. The Cowboys coming in with the top offense in the entire NFL, averaging 390 yards per game of offense, 390.6. The Broncos are 11th at 347 yards. So it's a 43-yard difference when it comes to the two. When it comes to the defensive side of the ball, though, the Cowboys are the worst in the NFL when it comes to pass yards per game. When it comes to total yards per game, here's the thing. Total yards per game, the Cowboys give up 401.6. Now, mind you, they gave up all those points to the Giants, all those points to the
mm,
Packers. They've kind of cleaned it up a little bit, but the Broncos, third best in the NFL, give up only 273 yards per offense. So something's got to give.
yeah,
Something's got to give.
Let's look at the division leaders right now. And division leaders right now, AFC West, the Broncos are leading their division at 5-2. If we look and see how important this game against the Broncos is for the Cowboys right now are second in the NFC East. Of course, the Eagles are 5-2. The Cowboys are 3-3. But if they can win this game, they can just get that momentum going. They can get that swagger back, and that might help them from a mental perspective, be able to make that push to see, what, can we catch this Eagles team? Because the way that the Cowboys are playing right now offensively, I don't think anybody wants to see them, man. They're just cranking, dude. It's
Right.
the defense, but who's to say that the defense can't get a little better? Now they're not going to be world class defense, a defensive team, but they can do enough to help the Cowboys win because the offense is so good. You always have to have that balance, and right now the Cowboys are a little off balance, but can the defense do enough to help them win these games against these good teams? That's the question.
It's a big game because the Cowboys get this win. Let's say they go 4-3-1, right?
Yeah.
Who they it opens up for them because the Cardinals are then coming into Dallas, and the Cardinals historically just never beat Dallas at anything. Then the Cowboys go on the road, they take on a crappy Raiders team. So in theory, the Cowboys could rattle off 3 wins in a row,
yeah.
go 6-3-1. 6-3-1 is very, very possible. I think they'll lose to the Broncos, but they can bounce back, and all of a sudden they'll be 4-4-1, 5-4-1, and
Mm,
Cowboy fans are going to get excited again. And then the gauntlet happens: Eagles at Cowboys, Chiefs at Cowboys, Cowboys at Lions. One thing that is better for the Cowboys that is still, I guess, a positive, that gauntlet we talked about, that Vikings team sucks. They lost to the
mhm.
Chargers yesterday. Carson
Yeah.
Wentz is quarterback. J.J. McCarthy coming back from injury next week.
Wentz
He's
ain't
not
gonna
any
we
good.
gonna win with Wentz, bro. You ain't gonna win with Wentz. He's proven that he ain't it, man.
And
He ain't it.
the Commanders are decimated. By the time the Cowboys play the Commanders in Week 17, the Commanders will be out of playoff contention and might just be playing for a seed and a better draft pick.
I remember yesterday, Miguelito, you had picked who to win. You picked the
Vikings.
Vikings to win, and I told you the Chargers are gonna win.
I wasn't doing it because of Wentz. I was doing it because of the defense of the
Yeah.
Vikings. The Vikings defense did not show up yesterday. I caught part of that game. It was weird in a way seeing Justin Herbert run the ball so much. I was not familiar with that game when it came to running. He rushed for like 70 yards yesterday, and they were designed runs. It wasn't like, oh, he was just flushed out of the pocket and he was scrambling like Dak does or like Patrick Mahomes does. No, they were design runs for him to get 5, 6, 7 yards and then slide. Just take it easy. Things that other quarterbacks like Jaden Daniels should learn how to do, but they don't learn how to do.
Yeah, there was some interesting audio that I had gotten here earlier today before we started the show, and that was from Kay Adams from Up in Adams.
Yeah.
Her show that she does. She was talking about the Cowboys, and she's like, kind of brought up some interesting topics of discussion in the fact that are the Cowboys just maybe a piece away from becoming those contenders, here and making that run for the playoffs. And I kind of agree that maybe they might be, but I think it's currently constructed. The defense can do enough. They can still keep the boys in the race for the playoffs. I'll go ahead and play the audio just so y'all can hear what she had to say, because I thought it was interesting. I mean, you listen to these guys to be entertained, but sometimes they bring up a good topic of discussion, and this is what happened here.
What do you do with these Dallas Cowboys right now? Outside of the defense, the problem, like the biggest obstacle, is the fact that every other team that they're chasing is good. If you look at the standings, they're all 5-2 right now. But if we're being honest with ourselves, the more we think about it, the more I think we could see them make a run here to get to the playoffs. We talked about it with Gronk yesterday. Dak is playing at an MVP level. He is getting the love out there in the streets, which you'd like to see. 16 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions. That's good enough in and of itself, but then think about the fact that he didn't even have CeeDee Lamb for 4 of these games, y'all. And now CeeDee, he's back, he's rolling, he's confident, he's had at least 110 yards in all 3 games he's played in full, which is crazy. This offense can absolutely carry this team and get them to the playoffs. If they want to be a real threat, though, you need to make a call at the deadline. And yeah, that probably means you won the George Pickens thing, because I think that Pittsburgh should have kept him, and they're going to have to make a trade to balance that out. But you probably should have kept Micah, ? The handling of that, not great, ? The situation.
So she goes on to talk about Micah. Maybe the Cowboys should have kept Micah. But the problem is, if the Cowboys would have kept Micah, that team would have been decimated, because then you can't go ahead and extend anybody else. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to have to let players walk. And then what are you going to look like even, more on the defensive end? If they already look like this now, can you imagine if they would have paid Micah? The outcome would have probably been even worse. So I think in hindsight, losing Micah hurt, but I think Jerry made the right decision in the end for the future of the team. You can't just let one player be garnering that much money and then your team's decimated. Jerry knew that he had to make a tough decision. I think letting Micah go might be the best decision that Jerry's ever made for this team's future.
I disagree.
I'm just saying, man.
You're not going to win playoff games or championships with a $60 million a year quarterback. Even if Dak Prescott's playing at a high level right now, he's not worth $60 million, man. And when you have $95 million going to a Dak CeeDee Lamb combo, it makes no sense. It's not sustainable football, because you look at the teams that are doing well right now. The Broncos are doing well because Bo Nix is on a rookie deal. Jackson Dart's on the come up. Jaden Daniels is on the come up. And a lot of these quarterbacks that are garnering these massive contracts. And it was Dak's turn. It was Dak's turn because he kept on getting out of line and going to the back. Kept on getting out of line, getting into the back. The 1 year deals, right? The franchise tags. Are the Cowboys trying to have a window open, or are they trying to do that 1 year thing? Because if you look at the Eagles, right? The Eagles won a Super Bowl, twice in the last 6 years or so? Or they've gone back multiple times. And when they did that, it was with different teams. And I think what Jerry's trying to do is trying to create like a dynasty team, like back in the day when it was Troy, Michael, Irvin, the offensive line stayed together, the defense stayed together. They would bring in a Charles Haley, they'd bring in a Deion Sanders or whatever the case may be. There was no salary cap back then, but they had like this team that stayed together, and I think that's what Jerry wants. But I don't know if that's feasible anymore, because there's shorter contracts out there. People want to get paid. And I just think that they need to go try to win one chip and then figure it out later on, man. Because I just find it to be weird. That's the same mentality that the Spurs have right now, because the Spurs could have mortgaged their future to go get Kevin Durant. They could have mortgaged their future to go get Giannis.
Yeah.
But they'd have no other thing in the future behind it, right?
Yep. You're giving up your future for a win now mentality.
So the Cowboys are kind of stuck in the middle where they're neither win now mentality, nor do they have the talent to actually get to where they need to be. They're kind of in the middle, which in any sports league is the worst place to be because it's a race to the top or the bottom. And being in the middle sucks. And that's
Yeah.
the Cowboys are staring down an 8-1 season.
I don't know. I think the Cowboys are going to surprise some people. I think they can actually make a push here and make a run to the playoffs. I mean, I think Rick thinks the same thing as well. You know, what are
I
your
do.
thoughts, Rick?
Yeah, I think so, man. I think that offense is going to keep them in the mix. At the end of the day, if it's just a high-powered score fest, you score, we score, you score, we score. Whoever outlasts the other is going to win. So they always have a chance with that high-powered offense. But yeah, to go deep into the playoffs, though, you need the defense. I don't know if I think it's funny because Joe said it was a good move to move Micah. Mike said he disagreed, and literally I'm in the middle. Like I'm in kind of I kind of I'm yeah, like I'm in the middle of both because I kind of I think I think the defense was going to be bad anyway. So keeping Micah and paying him that much, like Joe was saying, doesn't make sense to me. Because he's doing all right in Green Bay, right? But he's not like he's not this game changer. Oh my god! He's doing great, good. He's playing well, great. I just don't know if playing well with as bad as his defense was in Dallas is gonna what is that gonna do for you? You know what I mean? Like so,
Right.
at the end of the day, you're gonna pay that much money for so. It was kind of a sneaky move. When I first heard it, I was, oh, this is crazy. Like, this is
Yeah,
ridiculous. Like, I was like in an uproar. Like, I can't believe they
I
let
had the
Micah
same
go.
reaction.
Yeah. I was like, this is crazy. But then as I started like letting it marinate, I'm like, you know what? Like, it's not a bad deal after all. Like you know what? It just kind of makes sense. It makes sense in like a mad scientist kind of way. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it didn't seem like it made sense at the time, but now it does. So I think that's what it boils down to. I think this defense was going to be bad anyway. So why not cut your ties to a lot of money that you would have paid
yeah.
him if he stayed? So I get that part. But I think that again, man, the Cowboys are so bipolar, man. From one week to the next, man. Like it's they need they need to get consistency. They need to get
Yeah.
consistency and string together some wins.
Hey, we had some news here too. I know we don't really share a lot of stuff from ESPN and Screaming A. Smith, but they were kind of talking about Max Crosby and the potential
Mhm.
there for a
Yeah.
Cowboys trade because the Raiders, he might be up for grabs here. The Raiders might be
Yeah.
willing to make a trade with Max for Max Crosby here. So Cowboys have been thrown, their name's been thrown out there in the mix. So let's hear what they have to say. This courtesy of ESPN.
But understand, even in the offseason, Max Crosby has made it abundantly clear that he wants to do what? Win.
Yeah.
Well, he ain't gonna win in Vegas.
Exactly. So now he's not going to win in Vegas because now you have another situation that is keep constantly coming up. Why am I not in the playoffs? Okay, now you get an opportunity to get traded to a team that potentially is what you were looking for. And still, it also has collateral to say, what does the Las Vegas Raiders get? Picks.
But here's the other piece of that, right? He said he wants to win a championship, but he's also said he wants to be a Raider for life. So which
He's
one?
lying. Lying about the second part.
Right, so it's Max
You
Crosby.
can't. Nobody can want to be a Raider for
So here's
life.
the thing. So is he going to choose loyalty or legacy? That's going to be the question
Legacy.
for
What
him.
loyalty? Loyalty to the Raiders? This Raiders?
Yeah, you gotta think about
Al
what Max
Davis,
Crosby
God
has
rest his
been
soul, he
through.
been going a while. Mark Davis ain't Al Davis, okay?
And that's funny because that brings back that topic of discussion that Mike said. You can't believe everything a player says. When they go and
Right.
talk with the media, like Kawhi infamously said, "Oh, I want to be a Spur for life" or whatever. That's a bunch of nonsense. They're just playing up to the media, saying what everybody wants to hear, but not necessarily the truth. Now, Max Crosby saying he wanted to be a Raider for life, but then he wants to win a Super Bowl. You can't have one and the same. You got to choose one. You're going to choose loyalty over legacy? Come on, man. If you can go with the team and you can go potentially get into the playoffs and then maybe, just maybe, get into the Super Bowl and get a chance to win a chip, I think he'll take that in a heartbeat. But again, the Cowboys got picks. The Raiders need picks. To me, it's a match made in heaven, but we'll see if it gets done. What are your thoughts here, Rick?
Yeah, no. I agree. I like. I mean, Max Crosby would be a very interesting player in Dallas. Like, I would love Max Crosby. I think that would be cool. I think that would be a very interesting trade. Um, like you said, Cowboys got picks. Vegas needs picks. It kind of seems like it makes too much sense to
Yeah.
not happen. But you never know with these things. But yeah, man. What do you think, Mike?
That ESPN First Take was sponsored or courtesy of ESPN. Um, Cowboys have 4 first-round draft picks the next 2 years. Just try to pick well with that, man.
Mm,
I wouldn't make any moves because you're gonna have to pay Crosby and
mm,
I would much rather if I was a Cowboy fan pay Pickens to stay because Pickens is a free agent. Pickens happens to have the
yeah.
same agent as Micah Parsons, so you have that dynamic there as well.
Mhm.
Jerry Jones has come out and said that that has nothing to do with anything and that's not going to be an issue, but you never know, right? You don't
Yeah,
know
you know how
tell the
that
truth when
goes.
it
Yeah, you
comes
know how
to it
that
all.
goes. Yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah.
the Cowboys are favored to lose this game. By the way, the Broncos last I checked are
Oh, I
favored by
know.
2.5 points. I think that's very kind to the Cowboys because I would have put it as Cowboys by 4.5. We're going to make our picks for the NFL upcoming week rather, after we give some love to PF Chang's La Cantera. They sponsor our show and they do that happy hour every day from 3 to 6. And they've got those new drink specials. Let's give some love to PF Chang's La Cantera.
PF Chang's La Cantera, San Antonio's premier destination for dinner, date night, or happy hour. Enjoy one of their signature dishes, such as the Singapore street noodles, sesame chicken, or Chang's spicy chicken, or their infamous Chang's chicken lettuce wraps, which are delicious, by the way. You can enjoy all this while you're dining in an Asian-inspired atmosphere. And make sure to enjoy the new outdoor patio and try some of PF Chang's signature cocktails and drinks during happy hour, Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. PF Chang's La Cantera is a proud sponsor of the Area 210 podcast.
That's right.
And
Great
what did
place
they
for
have?
lunch. Oh man, they got the new Mai Tai. They got the new lychee martini, the new lemon drop martini. They've got the Jade Margarita. Lots of new drinks they have over there for $8.99. And my dog is going crazy inside this room over here, so he's knocking down the desk right now, going back and forth over here. But it's time to go. She wants to go play out. Wants to go play catch outside. Wants to go play fetch. I've never had a dog that fetches as well as this dog. I
And
mean,
what is
this
it, a
dog goes crazy.
retriever?
It's a black lab. Black
Yeah,
lab.
and that's
But,
probably why. Hey, I was going to show this real quick before we get into that talk with the picks for the NFL for the
Yeah.
weekend. Look at this that broke out, and this is interesting to me. So the SEC suspended longtime referee Ken Williamson for the remainder of the season following Georgia's 20-10 victory at Auburn. They said Williamson and the officiating crew had 2 controversial calls that included Jackson Arnold's fumble at the goal line and Kirby Smart's appearing to call a timeout in the fourth quarter that were missed.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. This kind of stinks sometimes because you got to wonder at some point in time, now that they're cracking down on coaches, they're cracking down on the players. We've seen this happen before where refs notoriously were betting on games, right, in the NBA. I think this is something that's rampant that's going on as well, not only in college ball, but in the other sports as well, not just the NBA, NFL, because you see controversial calls all the time, and sometimes you got to scratch your head a little bit and you'll be like, really, dude? That's going to be what's going to dictate the outcome of a game versus the players dictating the outcome of the game. I'm just saying, Mike.
Well, we're seeing this more and more. We saw with Chauncey Billups being arrested yesterday, along with 2 other former NBA players, current NBA players, or one was current, one was former. You hate to see it, man. This is the problem that everyone had talked about when it came to sports back in the day. Was you can't have gambling in Las Vegas, you can't have teams in Las Vegas, you can't have
Yeah.
this and the other. And then when prop bets came to become a thing with DraftKings and all the other betting sites out there, I think the federal government needs to shut down prop bets. I think they're going to be. I bet you 10 years from now, you can't bet on prop bets anymore. Now, if you want to do in-game betting, I think that'll be allowed.
Point spread, money line.
Point spreads. I mean, in-game betting is interesting whenever like you see a team that's favored to lose by 10, but they get a touchdown to start the game, and the odds
Yeah.
change a little bit.
Hmm.
I think that'll continue. But the idea that anybody could bet with their phone on a prop bet is starting to damage the game.
Yeah,
And we can't have nice things, is what I'm saying.
that's true, man. Because you know what, the allure I think of betting, especially in professional sports, it's rampant, dude. It's been like that for years, for a long time. Athletes and what happens behind the scenes, like going with the mafia, the mob, and all these people who kind of notoriously run in some of these sites and whatnot. It goes hand in hand, man. Athletes, they like to compete, man, and competing not only on the field or on the court, but competing at that next level on betting either on yourself or the outcome of a game is something that they just can't give up, dude. It's the allure of making money, making
Right.
more money on a bet. So I mean, this is something that's been rampant for quite some time, but we'll see what the feds wind up doing to kind of cull some of this. But we'll move on here, Mike, and we're going to go ahead and talk about our picks. Here we go, Rick. You're going to see
Yeah,
if you can make some money this weekend, baby. Let's
Oh,
go.
let's see. Let's see. Let me
Yeah.
tell me what you think.
The first game is going to be a Sunday tip-off at kickoff at noon. It's going to be the Dolphins at the Falcons. Head coach Mike McDaniel's dead man walking over
Mm.
there in Miami. By the way, I know no one cares about anyone else's fantasy football team, but I'm 6-1 in one of my leagues. I'm actually 6-1 in both of my leagues. But anyway, in one of them, I decided last minute before the kickoff, that I was going to see who was playing Miami and see if their defense was available, and it was. And that defense annihilated the Dolphins because the Dolphins have nothing going on for them. And because of that little waiver pickup and move that I made at the last minute, I won my game. If I hadn't have done that, wouldn't have won. We have a game going on between the Dolphins and the Falcons. Falcons at 3-3, favored by 7.5 at home. Give me the Falcons, man. Win and money line because that and spread rather because the Dolphins are sputtering, man.
Oh man, I don't know, dude. I'd have to go and say the Falcons. I go with the Falcons to beat the Dolphins. The Dolphins are just Vasuda, man. That coach, the hammer's gonna get dropped, man. You can't keep losing like this and not be able to say you're not afraid of losing your job. So
Yeah.
maybe this will be the nail in the coffin for him, and they do the brother a favor and let him go ahead and rest in peace there and go to another team or something, because I know they have some type of a clause there where he can't go ahead and, let's say, make a return right away, but eventually maybe next season or a season after he'll find a home somewhere else. But in this game, I got to go with the Falcons, man. I say the Falcons by more than a touchdown. They're going to beat the Dolphins. The Dolphins are just pure garbage.
Who you got, Fernandez?
Yeah, I agree. I think the Falcons, man. My guy Bijan's out there, hook 'em horns. So I gotta go there. Real quick, Texas Latinas in the chat. What's
Yeah.
up? JHNSB says Mike would be a good GM, low key. Damn, don't
And more of
don't stroke his ego like that, bro. Like, come on, bro. We don't need that, bro. We don't need that.
for the Spurs, baby, for the Spurs. Jets
Yeah.
at Bengals. Jets are the only winless team in the NFL right now. Bengals are 3-4. It's a noon game on CBS. Bengals favored by 6.5. The Jets are going to a new quarterback. They jumped Justin Fields. Justin Fields was Basuda.
Yeah.
I believe it's Tyrod Taylor coming in. So because
Yeah.
of that, I think the Bengals will win, but I think the Jets will cover the 6.5-point spread.
I agree with you, Mike. I think the Bengals
Mhm.
will win and go ahead and cover the spread. The
Yep.
Jets, man, you never bet on the Jets, bro. I tried doing that about 2 seasons ago, and they came through for me one game, and that was the game where Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles. And I had picked him to get that upset win, and they sure enough did. But ever since then, they let me down every single time. Never bet on the Jets. That team is garbage, man.
But do they
Yeah,
cover the
yeah.
spread?
I think they'll cover the spread, man. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that 6 points is good.
Yeah, I agree. I take the Bengals and they'll cover the spread. So
Broncos. I'm sorry, the Broncos. The Bears against the Ravens. The Bears playing really good these days, man. I mean, Bears coming in at
Mhm.
4-2. The Ravens are 1-5, circling the drain right now. But the Ravens are favored by 6.5 points in this game.
You told me this was a Super Bowl team, Mike.
Well, before injuries, it was. Let me see here. Lamar Jackson currently is practicing right now. He might play. So, because of that, give me the Ravens to win this game. but I think the Bears cover the spread.
I'll take the Bears. I'll take the Bears, man. I think the Bears are gonna find a way to win. So yeah.
I got to tell you, man, this one's a tough one. The Ravens are circling the drain. The chatter is Jackson might be back. I don't believe that for a minute. I got to say that against my better judgment here, I'm going to go with the Bears. The Bears have let me down too, but 6.5 is too much, dude. I'd like to see the Bears by at least a field goal. I go ahead and give it 2.5.
All right, let's do some rapid fire on some of these, man, because we are coming down the stretch here. We have the Niners taking on the Texans.
Niners.
Texans favored by 1.5 against the Niners. Not all the Niners do is win. Give me the Niners to win that game.
Find a way to win.
I go with the
Find a way
Niners
to win.
too. Niners to win. 1.5. I say the Texans cover.
Scroll up. Let me see if we miss any games up there.
The Browns and Pats.
Okay, well, I'll use your stuff here. Okay, Bills on the road against the Panthers. The Panthers, surprisingly good team this year. They have now a two-headed running back committee there because Rico Dowdle's been doing so well, but now Chuba Hubbard's back in the mix. You know what? The Buffalo is kind of a Jekyll and Hyde team. Give me the Panthers to win that game. Upset.
I'll take the Bills.
I'm going to go with the upset, dude. I'm going to go ahead and get the Panthers getting one over on the Bills. 7's a lot, dude. I'd say maybe a little bit less. Maybe 5, 5 points. That's what I'd go with.
But we're going for the upset on this one, man. That'll be our upset of the week. Giants against the Eagles. The Giants coming off a brutal loss to the Broncos. 7.5-point spread. I'll take the Eagles to win this game, but the Giants to cover the 7.5.
I agree.
I'm gonna go with the Giants, man. I'm gonna go with the Giants beating the Eagles. I like me an upset. I would go with the Panthers over the Bills. Giants over Eagles.
I believe this is the lowest over-under of the week. We have the Patriots taking on the Browns. The Browns have no offense, but they have a pretty good defense. Taking on the Patriots, Drake May is now emerging as an MVP candidate.
That dude is balling, bro. That
He
dude
is
balling, bro. Balling. Yeah, I like him. I like that
Give
kid.
me the Patriots. Give me the Patriots to cover the spread. I think that they'll win like 20-5, 20-6, something like that.
I like Vrabel. I like the quarterback. I agree.
We did Jets and Bengals already. Oh wait, no, Jets. We did Jets and Bengals. We did Dolphins and Falcons. If we can scroll down a little bit more, we did that one. Saints hosting the Buccaneers. Buccaneers coming off a loss. They played miserably. They'll bounce back against the Saints. They're gonna blow out the Saints. Give me the Buccaneers to win big.
Yeah, I'll take the Bucs.
I got you that one too. Colts and Titans, dude. This one is. I got the Colts, man, all day, every day.
14.5. Jesus.
Damn.
Wow. Yeah.
That's a lot. You know what the biggest odd maker say is blowout.
I'll take it to Cowboys, Broncos. Joe, you know what happens, Joe? You know what? The spread has increased to 3.5, and it's at -105, so that means it's going to go to 4. Wow. At 2.5, I was confident. Give me the Broncos to cover and win.
I go with the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are going to go ahead and win.
Taking the boys.
Win by a field goal, baby. Win by a field goal.
Aubrey's leg, baby.
Man, Aubrey's leg ain't gonna work in that mile high. It's too the air's too
It don't matter, bro. If you get him within 70 yards, he's money, brother. He's money, man.
Exactly. Give me 60, 70 yards from Aubrey.
And the funniest thing is, he's not even the best kicker in the NFL. That's funny. He's top 2 though. Packers, Steelers. Steelers favored by 3 points against the Packers. Packers the number 1 seed in the NFC. The Steelers somehow or another in the mix for one of the top spots in the AFC. Give me the Packers to pull off the upset.
I'll take Steelers. I'll take Steelers. Yeah.
You're gonna go with the Packers to pull up the upset?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad at that one. I'd go with it. All right.
We have Patrick Mahomes taking on Marcus Mariota in the Chiefs versus Commanders. Give me the Chiefs on that one.
Oh,
all day, dude. All day. Give me Chiefs all day.
Chiefs
12.5 points. They're going to cover that. We have those are the games. That's the Monday night game right there.
Yep. There
Very
you go.
nice.
So we covered them all.
Again, Spurs in action tonight. Spurs are 3-point favorites. 3.5-point favorites against the New Orleans Pelicans. No DeJounte Murray, no De'Aaron Fox, no Jeremy Sohan. But again, the Pelicans signed DeAndre Jordan today to a 1-year deal. They have no size out there, man. They have both center and backup
Got
center
nothing.
are out. They have no height. If DeAndre Jordan's going to come out and play, he's going to be playing with a bunch of strangers, because that's a weird thing for that to happen, right? Come off the plane. Here's your jersey, man. Go out there and run.
Yeah, just get in there. Yeah,
Go get 30 minutes. But he has 6 fouls to give, man. But
Hey, I'm going to grace
yeah.
y'all's timeline here. You know, everybody that's watching us right now, as we start getting ready to bring the show to an end here, of young Wemby at age 15. He was already moving like a pro, is what the overtime it says here, where I go ahead and pull the video from. Yeah, Wemby.
wow. But here's the thing. He's a foot taller than everybody in that video. And guess what? Tonight, he's a foot taller than anybody the Pelicans have on that team.
Yeah,
Legit.
Mira Wemby.
Legit. Again,
He
will the
does
Spurs
think
the Spurs stop Zion? I mean, I know Herbert Jones is a good player, good defensive player. Stop Zion, and it's game over, man. Someone has to guard that guy. Let's see what Castle does against Zion. Let's see what maybe Carter Bryant does against Zion. Let's see what happens when it comes to it all. But everyone have a fantastic day. It is Friday, and we don't give a damn in San Antonio. But if you give a damn about your money, give me a call, 210-508-0369. 210-508-0369. I've been doing financial services for 19 years, having a fantastic year. Signed already a client today, and I signed the client before the show started at 10. $10 super chat coming on in from Black Bucket.
Incoming.
What's going on?
Here comes the money.
Says headed to Port A with the fam for the weekend.
Nice.
Embrace the caca water. Vote yes. Go Spurs go. Shut up, Gita. Have a great weekend, everyone. Black Bucket, thank you so much. That's amazing.
I
Water.
love that. I love that. I love that. That's a good way to bring the show to an end. I love it. I love it. Yeah,
Very nice. We're going to land the plane. Everyone have a fantastic weekend. Go Spurs go. And guess what? Will we come back here on Monday?
Puro pinche cowboy a la verga.
Spurs are going to be 3-0. Will we come
Stay
back here
puro.
on Monday? Very
Stay
nice.
puro.
Cowboys are going to be 3-4-1, but that's a different story for a different day.
No.
We'll be
All right,
back
well,
on
boys,
Monday.
have a good weekend. We'll see you all on Monday.
Yep.
Peace.
Yep. Stay puro.